and welcome to The Balance. I'm your host, Andreana Jackson. I'm a realtor in the Miami real estate market for the past 10 years. My office is in Miami Beach with London Foster. And today I have a great show for you. We're going to be talking about the evolution of the Miami real estate market. I have two great guests here, Karina Gonzalez from West Capital Lending.
Yes. Hi. Thank you so much for having me today.
Welcome. I have Ovido Val, real estate investor, attorney. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Well, today this is my baby. I've been a realtor again for over 10 years in the Miami real estate market, and it's a dynamic market that keeps changing. And I wanted us to talk about that. Ovi, can you tell us a little bit about your background and then go into the market?
Okay. Well, I've been in Miami my whole life and really started off really young, buying properties since the age of 19 years old, before I was even an attorney. I got involved in buying and selling properties back in those days. Got my degree in finance, got my law degree from Howard, HU. And since then, I got into general practice. Sometimes the Miami market can be really high. And then when the opportunity showed up, I got into flipping properties. And I bought and sold probably over 100 properties, either by myself or with other people. So I've had a lot of experience with real estate. And then I focused on foreclosures, especially when the foreclosures were happening. Mm-hmm. So I was right at the juncture of people having to either sell or lose it. So I see a lot about what's going on in Miami.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
Karina, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. So I moved to Miami 20 years ago, specifically for school. I went to FIU. I graduated there in public relations, and I was in media sales for many years. It was a great career, but after a while, I just really felt like I'd hit a ceiling. I was really good at creating like a community. I was really good at building relationships with people that learned to trust me. So I felt like that would really translate well into mortgage. So I made the jump. I got into mortgages 3 years ago. In between that, I actually started a wellness company. So I like to kind of bring a holistic view of mortgages into every, client that I work with. I really want to make sure that I'm really valuing them for what their dreams and goals are. And I try to really emulate that into every deal that I do.
Thank you. That's amazing. Ovi, that brings us to you. Okay. Dreams. How is everyone dreams of home ownership?
Yeah.
So how is that going right now? Talk to us about the Miami market.
Well, I think it's kind of rough right now. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of forces that comes in. If you're a person that's from Miami that has to work here, as far as when you compare the amount of money, the income that people actually make, and the valuation of how much the houses cost, there's a big separation. And the reason for that is you have people from South America who are coming up with a lot of cash.
It's still our number one buyer.
Yeah. With a lot of cash. So so it doesn't really correlate or reflect the actual income that you make. So the people are finding themselves priced out. You also have a lot of pressures from a lot of the big families in Europe. They don't want to deal with the socialism, the taxes, the 40, 50% of taxes. So they want to come over here to park their money. And sometimes the safest way to do that is buy property in Miami.
Right.
And that way they just bury the money in the ground, which is the property. So you have a person who's working an average job, they're finding it's very hard to compete.
Has it always been that way though?
No, it wasn't. It was really affordable at one point.
Yeah, it was.
And I guess it was always a beautiful place to stay. I grew up here, and everybody would come here for vacation. And I guess when they came on vacation, they realized, why don't I live here?
So really what happened was the pandemic.
The pandemic. Yeah, that really changed everything.
Yes, the pandemic. I guess it gave people an option. Like, for example, BlackRock moved down here about a year ago. And just a company of that magnitude, you're talking about maybe 1,000 millionaires. Do you know the pressure that does to drive up real estate? Having to move down, that are moving down here because they realize we can work anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And I could work in a real cold, crusty city, or I could work in Miami.
Yeah.
Well, it has a lot to do also with the politics and with the also with without having the state income tax,
correct,
yes,
which drives a lot of people here.
You're right. The whole environment, from the weather to the politics to the taxes to the
and affordability. Because if you're coming from New York City, it is much more affordable. Well, it used to be. I would say in 2020 it was affordable still. And then obviously the New Yorkers drove up the market. But back then they would come here and say, I could have an amazing condo on the water for half the price of my crappy studio apartment or whatever they might have paid for it in New York.
Right.
So that was the driving force, I think, at the time. But now we've become a bit of a New York, I think, without the income.
Right.
Without the income. Exactly.
That's a good example. Being in North Bay Village, being in the North Beach area, far as the North, when I say North Beach, that is the north section of Miami Beach. We saw tremendous changes, I would say, just on the canal. The canals used to be crappy back there on Crespi, like with these shanty boats. The next thing you saw, really nice boats came. People came and fixed it up. So it's like you want to see the neighborhood do better, and it is doing better. But at the same time, I feel like certain people
drives up cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people who live and work here, it's kind of hard for them.
So how do you see it going, Ovi?
There's just a lot of changes. I think the political is really going to have the politics are going to have a lot of effect on it. I think that the interest rates are going to have to go down based on and that's going to force the values to go up.
Speaking of interest rates, where are they right now?
They're in the low sixes. They have come down quite a bit the last few weeks, which is really, really nice to see. Nobody has a crystal ball, so we can never say like in the next 6 months it's going to come down X amount. But we do see a trend towards them coming down, which is really good. I think that shouldn't be the only factor, and really you shouldn't look at the interest rate. I think there was a lot of people waiting for rates to drop to like the 5s, even the 3s, which are probably not going to happen again. I'm telling you guys right now, it's probably not going to happen again unless we have some sort of epidemic or something crazy happens.
War.
Yeah, something really awful that we don't want to happen. You have to remember back in the 80s, interest rates were like in the 14s. So everyone thinks 7 is high, 6 is high. It's not. It's pretty average. Yeah. We could maybe get back into the 5s, which would be a really nice, I think, good place to be. We don't know when that's going to happen. We have some people refinancing now that are on FHA loans that are getting into the 5s. So there's opportunity there, but I don't think people should wait for rates to come down. I think they need to they need to see what they can afford now. If they can afford the payment, the insurance, potentially the HOA, that's what matters now. If you can afford that today, that's a great investment for you today. When rates lower, you can refinance and it's even more savings. But I don't think that waiting for the rates to come down is a smart move because nobody can time the market. And none of us can.
And that's a good point, because the other problem with waiting for rates to come down, right now, the prices are pretty low.
Correct.
Once the rate goes down, the price goes back up because the demand goes back up.
It's this game, right, of playing this. I mean, I had people that were waiting to buy in 2019, thinking for 2020 I'll do it. Nobody knew COVID was coming. Nobody knew there was a pandemic on the way. Nobody knew that was going to cause all these New Yorkers to move here. That was going to totally inflate the market. Californians, Arizonians, so many. And so I just feel like nobody can time the market perfectly. You just have to buy when it's the right time for you, which means you have adequate savings to put down on down payment and closing costs. You have good credit, good enough to at least get a good mortgage payment and a good rate. And if those things align and you can afford the others, insurance, taxes, and HOA if applicable, then it's a good time for you to buy. Truly, that's what you should worry about. Can you afford this payment? Can you afford this house?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that since we do have a lot of inventory, sellers have gotten a little bit more creative? Either they've decided to drop off the market and delist, which I guess Miami, we lead delistings in the United States.
That makes sense.
So people who bought probably in 2021, 2022, who bought high.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to, they're backing off and delisting because
they don't want to take a loss.
Right.
My philosophy with real estate, because I've been in at such a young age and people are always asking me, when should I get in? When should I get in? I said, this is my philosophy. Don't wait to buy real estate. Yep. Buy real estate and wait.
Yep.
Because the long-term trend, it goes up.
Right.
It goes up. And everybody who's waited has regretted it.
Right. I mean, is this the right? Well, my bread and butter still is our condos.
Okay.
Yeah, which condos are tricky right now. They're very, very tricky. I think what's important to remember is you're not just financing the buyer, you are financing the condo. The condo also has to be warrantable. It doesn't have to be. If it's not, there's programs. But what's important for realtors to know, when you have a listing and you have a condo, it is really good to be proactive, because the more you know about the condo's financials, the more you know if there's any litigation, you will better inform your buyers. The more that your buyers know ahead of time, we can know what kind of loan scenario to put them into. We know if it's going to be non-warrantable, warrantable. Those things are easily fixed, but they're much better to know ahead of time versus in the middle of financing.
Take me through a best case scenario and how a realtor should approach. Say they have the buyer.
Right.
What should they need to do?
So they should definitely ask the realtor for their financials of the
The
building.
listing agent.
Yes, thank you. The listing agent for the financials of the building. If they don't have it, which most don't, by the way, the person that can get it is the owner of the unit. It's usually on some sort of like,
It's on a database.
it's in a database that they have access to within their HOA. So they should be able to pull the financials. From there, it's pretty easy to read to see whether or not they have 10% in reserves. So if they don't have 10%, immediately that makes the condo non-warrantable. You can still finance, because we have many programs that allow that, but it just means that the buyer has to bring more cash to closing. So they can't do FHA, they can't usually do conventional, because 3% does not exist with non-warrantable.
It's like 40%, right?
No, we can do 15 to 20.
Yeah.
15 to 20. And then if there's litigation, that's the other big red flag. So you just want to make sure that, and it doesn't mean like we had one at the Marquee once where there was a litigation, but it was between a valet guy and an owner. That's not structural. Didn't affect the loan. We're fine.
Say that again. Structural.
It has to be structural. The litigation is something structural. That's really what makes or breaks the deal. And again, doesn't make or break, but if you go to like a traditional chase, immediately it'll get a red flag. They'll say no.
That's another thing.
Wow.
Being in the Miami real estate market, a lot of people believe that their bank is going to help them with buying the condo. And you said Chase, you said Bank of America.
Yeah, they don't.
It's not the relationship of old. In fact, we tell a lot of people who came from New York because they've talked to their lender in New York, and I'm like, you really need a local lender.
Yeah.
A local lender to South Florida who knows the condos.
You need somebody who can get creative with financing, because the thing with a big bank like Chase or Bank of America, you could be in one of their preferred clients, right, who has a lot of money invested with them. You could even have an underwritten approval by them, which this actually happened 2 weeks ago. And this guy had a ton of money. He was coming in. He was buying $1 million condo. I don't remember the name of the building right now, in Miami Beach. And he was able to put down 15%, which is not normal because it's still kind of pre-construction. Not quite, but almost there. They're almost sold out. And so the bank, Chase, had given him underwritten approval. So like he went to the realtor with this. He's like, yeah, I'm approved. Once they got into the deal, the building wasn't warrantable. They didn't have reserves, which is pretty interesting for a new building. And they couldn't do it. So immediately it died. So then she brought it to me. We were able to see who we could work with. We were able to price it out. And we were able to give them the same deal, better interest rate.
Wow.
And we were able to do it with 15% down, which is pretty good.
That's really
Actually,
good.
for over $1 million. Yeah.
That's really good because normally it's 20 to 25%.
Was that a local lender?
Especially in the million range. Yeah.
Was that a local lender?
She's a local lender.
Yeah.
That would be me. But the difference is I'm a mortgage broker, right? So I work with 170 lenders. That's the difference. Chase is Chase. Chase is the lender. I work with 170. So that's the whole point of it, working with the brokers. We broker it out to see what is the best possible scenario we can get for this client. What's the best rate and the best loan program, which also means we can get really creative with financing. Because if you do run into non-warrantable, non-QM, which is just non-qualified mortgage, another word for non-warrantable, then we can actually take that and it's not a dead deal. We can revive it because we can shop it around to our lenders and say who would be the best fit for this scenario. So that's really where we stand out.
So where do you see the market going, Ovi?
The market in the future, it's just so volatile. It's so volatile right now. I think the dollar might tank, and if that happens, I think the prices, the values might go up.
What makes you say that about the dollar?
The dog, well, there's a lot of outside pressure. You have BRICS that most Americans don't even know about. Mm-hmm. It's the alliance of Brazil, China, Russia, and they're forming their own currency. And they're going to be giving back all the U.S. dollars and say, we don't want these U.S. dollars in our country. So that's going to be a flood of U.S. dollars. You also have the African countries that are joining it. That's why it started off with each letter, BRICS, standing for a different country. Brazil, Russia, I think India, China, and South Africa. Mm. And there's just all other kind of pressures. And this what's going on with our foreign policy. We're not really making friends. We're making making friends.
And that was one of the other issues. Our number one buyer is South America, with different policies as far as ICE, things like that, not making them feel welcome. They don't really feel like coming here and spending their money. No. So
it's not helping.
It's not helping.
It's definitely not helping. Yeah, it's not helping. It's not helping the fact that a lot of even just my regular American buyers don't feel safe right now. You know, it's just not a good situation.
A lot of uncertainty.
A lot of
uncertainty.
The market, I think, is gonna like kind of go in on itself a little bit. It's gonna shrink a little bit.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna affect a lot of other places a lot different than Miami, because we're so international that we're kind of immune to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because you still have people that want to come here and play. They might not like America, but they're here playing.
Right. It's still a safe bet.
Yeah. So that's going to kind of shelter us a little bit. So I just don't think we're going to go up the way we have been going up, but I think we're going to have, a slow progression, 4%, 5%.
When you say it's going to shrink, do you mean pricing wise, or do you mean?
I think our economy, the GDP, is going to go down.
I see.
Because they've convinced all the guys doing all the construction, all the people farming, that they're the problem and we need to get rid of them. So I don't know how.
Well,
it's definitely going to drive up the cost of goods.
Well, I did see that this one of the problems affecting our builders. They have a really big problem with retaining
construction workers
right now. One, you've gotten rid of I guess you want to say people who've come here.
Cheap labor.
Okay.
Say it. Cheap labor.
So you've gotten rid of that market. Now you're turning to Americans who are unskilled, and we're not necessarily training them to do this. Which
and who don't want to pay it, who don't want to work for the same price. So guess what? It's going to make things more expensive all around. Yeah. Yep, not just of vegetables or of goods, but of real estate as well. Because if Americans aren't going to want to work for the same price as
someone who's just
coming in to work, to work and send money to their families.
Right,
different entity.
And I think they've targeted really the working class immigrants. I work along with the lady in my office, Nana. We have an immigration practice.
Okay.
Where we have over 1,000 clients, and they raided a blueberry farm in Homestead, and they took about 40 people, but about 500 people left because they just said we didn't come here for this. They're not criminals. They really came here to work.
Right. So where do they go?
A lot of them are going home.
Wow. So that's a lot of labor lost.
Yeah.
That affects the restaurants that I've seen have been closing. Yeah. We have a lot in pre-construction projects, and I'm curious to see if they all go up on time when they say
it slows it down.
Right.
Yeah, it might. It's interesting how it's such a trickle effect that people don't think about, I think. But now that they're seeing it like firsthand, we're kind of starting to see like the effects of it. Yeah. It's really interesting it's going to be, the next 3 years are going to be interesting to see where it all lands.
Yeah. Hopefully we learn our lesson that we're really more connected. You can't affect one part of society without affecting everybody else.
Yep.
Hopefully we learned that.
And that we were built on immigrants. We truly were. And I know that's a whole different political conversation.
Yes, it is. It is a different conversation. But when we're talking about building homes and buying homes for people, it's funny how it's all from the person who picks your fruit to the person who's helping build your home. It's all like the circle of life. Yeah. From the line.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it's all connected.
We're all tied. We all do better when we all do better.
Yep.
Period.
Right. So talk to me about some of the projects. Are you working on any new projects right now, or are you on hold?
Well, I'm working on a project in the Homestead area right now. I've never done something on this scale. And
What's the scale?
well, I bought about an acre and a half, and I have a partner of mine that about three or four lots. And I have a partner of mine, she bought another acre next to me. And we have about 2.5 acres, and we're directly across the street from a rapid transit zone, which is those rapid buses,
Right.
which can give us the ability to do up to 125 units per acre.
Wow.
So you're building workforce housing or affordable housing?
Well, the plan eventually will be, once we do all our entitlements, will be to do affordable.
What is the difference? I didn't realize there was a difference.
There is can you tell us the difference?
Well, all right, it's with numbers. Affordable housing is, I don't want to say it's a lower tier, but it's a less affordable housing. It's for people who might
Like Section 8 type housing?
be on Section 8. Workforce would be like your teachers, your plumbers, your cops, your clerks.
Everyday people.
That's
Everyday
good. We need
people.
that.
So there's different levels, and you have to, and they change the structure of the construction based on what you're doing. So if you're saying I commit 30% to affordable, then they're going to say, okay, then we'll give you loans at a lot lower percentage or grants, but you have to make sure 30% is for people who can't afford places to stay to ease the housing crisis.
So is this going to be for rentals, or is this going to be for them to purchase as a condo?
They're going to be rentals.
Okay.
Right now, they're going to be rentals.
Okay.
That's kind of the way it's set up.
So the whole thing is going to be for...
Well, no, they want commercial underneath.
Oh, I see.
So it'll be a multi-use building.
It'll be a multi-use building, yeah.
Office space.
It's deep in Homestead, but it's one
Homestead's up and
station
coming.
away from the city hall.
Okay.
It's on the intersection of Campbell Street and South Dixie Highway. It's right at the intersection.
I think I've only been down there maybe once or twice.
Okay.
But
South Dixie Highway is a pretty,
It's
Right.
South
Commercial.
Dixie takes you to Key West.
right.
Yeah,
So South Dixie all the way, it takes you all the way to Key West. So that's like a most prominent.
and Campbell Drive is pretty prominent.
Yeah, it's pretty
Awesome.
prominent. It's
too-
prominent down there.
Well, no, I know. I hear great things about Homestead. I hear but I've just.
It's a different
There's
area.
not a whole lot,
not a lot
going on down there.
But I hear there's a lot of different development.
Yeah.
There's a lot of development.
Which kind of makes me sad in a way, because they're cutting away a lot of green space in order to make these different.
A lot of farms,
spaces.
right? There's a lot of farms
Well,
out there.
it's not really the farm area. There's a lot of space in like the Homestead proper where the actual city is, but there's plenty of farm areas.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you go there, you see like there's a lot of space in between the homes, and it's not all land that's theirs.
Okay.
It's just land. So I think there's room for development for
There's
sure.
a lot of room for
And they're
development.
not running into the Everglades. It's like it's still just there.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. It's
Just making sure, just because. Yeah.
I get
when
it.
I hear that,
nobody wants to overbuild.
the animals.
But the idea with the rapid transit, real quick, the rapid transit zone, and it's right on that speed bus lane. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I know. I voted.
Where
on
there's
it.
no lines, where there's no traffic lights, the buses
They
just go
just hop.
straight to downtown.
Oh.
So the idea is to have high density right at the rapid zone areas. So if you have 500 people right there, they can just get on a bus, and within 20 minutes they're downtown.
That's awesome.
That takes away from traffic. That takes away from cars on the road. It just makes it a more livable city.
Right.
Because Miami's going through the process of becoming, to me, a world-class city.
Right.
And if you're in some place like Manhattan and you're a teacher or you're a clerk or you're a plumber, you wouldn't think about living in Manhattan. No, you're going to sit on mass transit and bus in because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
That's where Miami's going.
Well, it's with all the, like you were saying, with Blackstone and the different moves that are being made in Brickell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even go to Brickell anymore. It's just so congested. So congested.
But it's changing. It's actually
It's a good time though if you're not driving.
right.
Yes.
You know,
You just have
If
to
you're
walk
not
out your door.
exactly. I used to live there and I loved living
Right.
there. But it was even, I don't think I could live there now. It's so dense, right?
Yeah.
It just feels like a really, really big city, which is nice for those that like that.
Mhm.
I like a little disconnection.
That's why I like living in North Bay
Yeah.
Village.
It's very quiet.
Living beachy.
Yeah.
North Bay Village, nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. we have a few minutes left. What can you leave us with, Ovi, as far as an investor such as yourself? Let's say there's an investor sitting on the sidelines, wants to jump in. What are you going to tell him?
I mean, well, she sounds pretty impressive. You first got to get a lender.
Financing.
Right.
You can't, if your
Financing,
financing is not together, you can't get nothing done. It's just, unless you're just paying cash for everything,
Right.
you have to be willing to go after deals. You can't wait till somebody lists something. Out of the almost 100 properties I've bought, I probably never bought off of a listing. It's usually when somebody has something listed, it's pretty close to retail. If you want to buy retail, fine. But if you really want a deal, you're going to have to go off-roading.
Okay.
It's not on the main road.
What do you do? Knock on doors?
I would knock on doors. I would just different things. Usually when somebody doesn't buy the property, usually they'll sell it at a better deal.
Okay.
Meaning if they inherited the property or if the husband had it and they got it through a divorce, and if they didn't buy the property, they usually don't value it and they're willing to just, it's a headache to them and they don't want it.
Right. You have to pay the taxes, the upkeep.
They don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Those were the deals that I found, amazing deals.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Karina, you're not only, you kind of touched on it, you're not only a mortgage professional, but you're also on your own wellness journey as well.
Yes.
And the balance is about wellness.
I love that.
We talked about the health of the Miami real estate market. We've talked about different lending trends going on.
Yeah.
So tell me about your other passion.
So I have been on my own wellness journey, similar to you, probably for, 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just trying to really, how do I say this? Create alignment within myself, within my thoughts, beliefs, actions. I do a lot of Joe Dispenza. Love his meditations. And when I was in between, when I left my career in media sales and I was starting this mortgage thing, this business in mortgage, I launched a company called Future Self Journal, which is a prompted journal where you can kind of like align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions every day. It's really beautiful. It's just something that I really needed at the time. And I think a lot of people use, they benefit from it as well. And I actually brought you one.
Oh, wow.
As a gift for having me on your podcast. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it.
I didn't get one.
I'll get you one too. Don't worry. I've got one for you in the car.
It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's great. It's really beautiful too. Yeah, it was actually our first retailer was Soho Beach House.
Would you consider that inspirational or motivational? Or
motivational and also just alignment, right? You're aligning, because I think even before any calls or before I go on Zooms with clients, I try to align my own energy so I can bring my best self to that call, my best self to the client, etc. And I think if we do that every day, it's called like kind of priming yourself. You're setting yourself up for success for that day. Wow. As best as you can, because the minute the phone starts ringing and the emails, like you can get dinged in many, many ways and you can kind of get pulled in different directions. And I think it's important as much as you can to continuously align throughout the day.
Beautiful.
That's great, because I can hear it in your voice when I talk to you. You sound calm.
Oh, thank you.
You sound intentional.
Thank you.
And it's every time I talk to you. Yeah, just like a peaceful person.
Not always the case, but thank you. I really appreciate that. It's definitely a practice.
And what I really like about the book is when you open it up, it says, today I choose to be grateful for.
Yes.
Why am I grateful for this?
Yes.
Today I will work on letting go of.
Yes.
And I think so many others.
We all have so many things we need to let go of. And I think gratitude is like the foundation for anything. Right. For things to blossom, for growth, for success, for abundance. Gratitude kind of has to be that foundation.
Well, thank you. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
And I will.
I'm excited to hear how you like it.
I'm already impressed. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a bonded book.
Right?
I love it.
I love it.
We have a few seconds left. I want to thank you all for this great conversation today.
Thank you.
Karina, if the public would like to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
So you can find me on Instagram at The Mortgage Savant, the.mortgage.savant. And you can get a hold of me via my email, Gonzalez at westcapitallending.com. I'm happy to work with you. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, especially a lot of business owners who are utilizing bank statement loans to get into a property, a lot of investors as well. So I work with all kinds.
Sounds great. Thank you. Thank you again for coming. And thank you again for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Val. If the public would like to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They could call the office at 786-277-9009, or they can email me at ovidelaw@yahoo.com.
Thank you. Thank you again. This was a very insightful conversation today. I hope everyone was able to take away some nuggets from it. Again, this is Andreana Jackson with The Balance, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with a great show. Thank you.